watch this?
How?
Ew,
How do you watch this? Dude, I'm gonna pee my pants.
Hello, this is How Do You Watch This, a movie review podcast where each week we recommend a movie to the other person that we like, the genre we like.
Yeah. I mean,
We don't always like the
you,
movie,
so-
but the genre we like, but they don't.
Yes.
My name is Demi and I love horror.
My name is Megan and I love romance.
And this is Horror Week once again. And
Yep.
I had Meg, sorry, Diego's fighting in the background.
Like you're like scrambling toenails on wood.
And I picked for Megan the movie No One Will Save You.
Yes. Which is a horror drama from 2023, written and directed by Brian Duffield. It is on Hulu.
It is on Hulu.
It is on Hulu. Okay. Anything to say before I begin?
No. I did not find a lot about this movie. There is one very cool fact, and
Okay.
that is it.
Okay. Once again, our movie begins in a world that looks like it came straight from my Pinterest dream life board.
I know. It's like this farmhouse is it.
It is so cute. It's like this green color. There's a large plot of land. There's a lake, like a little pond on. It's phenomenal. Our lead character, Bryn Adams, is played by Caitlin Dever of Rosalind or Rosaline or Rosaline or however.
I think.
Yeah, Rosalind fame. When her face came up, I was like, oh yeah, that one.
I
And
know
then I
her.
was like, I couldn't place where she was from, and I was like, ooh, maybe I'll do another like matching actress. And then I saw that it was
Yeah.
Rosalind, and I was like, oh, never mind, I can't do that again.
Yep.
So she is the sole resident of this home. She is hyping herself up to do some pretty menial tasks. It seems like she is a seamstress who sells clothes from the comfort of her home, only leaving when it's time to deliver a few packages to the drop box in town. She's noticeably uncomfortable with human interactions, which continues throughout the movie. She visits her mother's grave, where we see that she died relatively recently. This is also a hint that the movie takes place in modern times, despite Bryn's attempt to live a 1950s life with Polaroid cameras and swing dresses. There was a point later on where I was like, what year is this set in? And then I remembered the gravestone, and I was like, oh, right, it is modern. But
Yeah.
there is a little bit of a throw off with that.
Yeah, it's like very, I guess it's like small town, but like really, really small old town where nothing's really
Yes.
updated. So it gives
Yes.
that vibe.
Definitely. Our first major hint that something is wrong in Bryn's life, aside from her social anxiety, is when she sees a police officer flirting with his wife. She drops to the ground and hides, making it seem as if she is a fugitive on the run. But reading a letter she writes, the viewer is able to deduce that she knew that specific couple because they were the parents of her old friend, Maud. At this point in time, we don't know what happened to Maud. It's implied that she's gone, that Bryn hasn't seen her in 10 years, and that Bryn did something unforgivable. The letter states her desire for Maud to wear the clothes she designs, which for me was the final clue that she's definitely dead. So I don't know if it was supposed to be a shock when we later find out that she died, but
I think
I was speed reading the letters.
I think the
so-
shock is how she died,
Okay.
not that she died.
Okay. As she is writing, Bryn sees her mailman like yeet a package
Yeah.
towards her mailbox.
Very rudely.
I would have been so pissed. And he drives away. And I was like, is this going to be some sort of like, she seemed to be kind of like into him or something. I thought maybe there was going to be some sort of interaction there. But really, they're just establishing who this guy is because he comes into play later on. Bryn is teaching herself to dance in her house using these floor markers. And she's also building a miniature town of tiny dollhouses. That's what came in the mail, was this little schoolhouse that amazingly survived being
Being
thrown.
tossed.
That night, as she's sleeping, all the lights in her house turn on and off again. A noise startles her awake. It was the garbage can lid falling off, and she goes to set it to rights. Her lights won't turn on now, and she sees movement downstairs and hears creepy noises. She ends up running and hiding under her bed as an alien walks around and looks for her. The following scenes depict Bryn's desperation to survive an untenable situation. She's slammed by doors through the alien's telekinetic powers. Her array of tiny dollhouses are shoved into the wall and shattered, and she's pulled across the room by invisible hands. She somehow manages to grab onto the bell from the schoolhouse of her little tiny village and shoves it into the alien's head, and it seems to die. It falls on the ground. She is in like a comatose state for the next however many hours until the sun rises, at which point she gets up, covers the body, and decides to call 911. So at this point, I'm like, well, the good news is that she still has the body, so she's going to be able to convince people
Right.
that, you know, what actually happened, because it's going to seem fake at first, but they'll be able to see the organs, everything. They'll understand.
Mhm.
And then I was getting nervous because the power's not working, so she's going to have to leave the body in the house. And I was like, ooh, something's going to happen. It's going to disappear. She's going to
Right.
go into town. She's going to say, an alien abducted me, and they're not going to believe her because it's going to be gone. That's not what happens. Spoilers. So she can't start her car. She can't start her car, which is a Subaru Outback, which is just, my sister drives one right now, and she hates it so
Really?
much.
I have a
it.
Crosstrek, so it's a little different. I love my Subaru.
Subarus are great, but I think there's something about it where she's like, this is an old cat lady sort of vehicle.
I hear it's the lesbian car.
Yeah, it is. So I think it's like killing her vibe a little bit.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's okay.
So as Bryn is cycling, she sees the USPS truck is upside down, and she passes her neighbor's house, which seems to be in disarray. So it seems like similar events were happening. And on top of this, there's little crop circles around the lawns. So we're seeing that. It's a hint. They don't play into it in a big way, but interesting. So she goes to the police department, and she's passing police on the street, but she is going right to go into the police department, opens the door, and runs into Maud's parents, and Maud's mother spits on her face, which is a lot.
Yeah.
And really gross, and probably like the rudest thing you could do. I get it, but at the same time,
Yeah.
I feel like there's better ways, but whatever. So that was enough to stop Bryn in her tracks. She decides not to move forward because everyone in the police department at this point is giving her the side eye. She clearly doesn't think that anyone's going to help her. She has a very understandable panic attack before deciding to take the bus home. She couldn't get her bike unlocked. She was just in too much fear. So she gets on the bus, and behind her is the mailman from earlier. And he basically tries to grab her and is like crawling backwards on the bus. The bus driver pulls over. Don't know what happens to the bus driver. He's never seen again. But she runs off the bus and ends up running towards a church, which is closed, but in the church graveyard is Maud's gravestone, stating she died at the age of 12. So Bryn ends up making it home, and she goes into defense mode. She's boiling water on the stove, boards up her front door with a quilt, which is, I mean, I don't know what that's doing for you.
Effective, but
whatever. She gets ready to throw down. The blanket was not ever going to protect her. And the alien abduction ray bursts through the door once again, grabs the dead alien, pulls it from the house. Other aliens start popping up, much creepier than the last. So each one is just significantly weirder. There's a small one with long limbs. There's one that's taller than a shed. They all are just weird looking.
Mhm.
They at first I was like, oh, they're going with the classic
Yeah.
alien vibes, but no, they took that like face of the sci-fi alien, that,
yeah.
yes, and then did the limbs all sorts of weird ways.
Yeah, I didn't like the tall one, the big one. He was
Man.
spooky.
I thought, yes, I legitimately thought that it was an alien on top of the shed, and then all of a sudden it moved from behind the shed, and I was like, no, it's just the height of the shed. Oh god, horrible.
Hate it.
Hated it. So The aliens are popping up. She's fighting them off one by one using any means necessary, including biting, which seems so unsanitary. I get that you're ready to die, but we don't know what diseases they have.
No.
They're from a different planet.
It could be like poison. I mean,
yeah.
think of like the xenomorph. Their blood is like acid. You don't.
Right.
You might fucking die from that, but I don't know. I guess either way, she's like, well.
Yeah. I guess if you're in your fight or flight mode, but for me, I definitely would have been dead in 5 minutes of this movie, so it's fine. I mean, I'm gonna give away now. My survival rating's 1 out of 10. I would not.
Yeah, I don't think I probably would have put up a fight, but I definitely would not have put up as much of a fight as she did.
No,
for sure.
She never stopped.
No,
she never stopped, and I love that for her. I especially love it because she's not like a survivalist. In all these movies you see, they're always, you know, the preppers or whatever, someone who has some sort of experience, and she's just a girl who sews. So that was fun.
We love that for her.
Yes, we do. She pours boiling water on one of the creatures and stabs it with a broken mop. She explodes another one by lighting her car on fire. She's finally caught by a red ray, and that seems to just kind of freeze her. There's different colors to the rays. I don't know if there's any significance to that. There's like blue and red.
Yeah, I don't think so. It seems like the white blue light maybe takes them to the ship, and then the red is like, I don't know, some sort of freeze ray or something.
Yeah. No, so the next scene was my deleted scene. It's when the alien comes into the room, floats up to her face, gags up a hairball urchin creature, and it goes into her mouth and takes over her mind.
Yeah.
At which point she wakes up from this horrible nightmare, and it was all a dream, and she goes downstairs, everything's normal, blah blah blah, except it's not. She sees Maud, and she has this realization that it's not real, and this is the only words that are spoken the entire film. She opens her mouth and says, "I'm sorry, Maud, I'm sorry," then reaches in, grabs the little urchin and pulls it out and gets back to reality. The nice thing about this was knowing that everyone who is hosting the alien creatures at least is living a fun little Delulu life.
Yeah.
Like, okay, at least like she thought everything was perfect in that moment. So that's nice.
Yeah, so that would have taken me, I would have been like, you know what? This is great.
This is better. Yeah.
I'm living my best life, so.
I would have fallen for it and been totally, whatever. Fine with it, I guess. I wouldn't have reached in and grabbed the urchin out, but.
No.
So then the thing that she ripped out of her gets pulled into another ray, like a golden ray, I think, and that created a replica of Bryn, which then comes after her and stabs her in the abdomen. But she had a box cutter and she slit its jugular, so she holds the replica as the replica dies. And then she starts running away again, and she gets abducted. She finally gets caught in one of the silvery abduction rays, gets pulled into what must be the spaceship, and is held in place. The aliens all surround her, and one of them touches her third eye, at which point she starts having flashbacks to her life before, when everything happened. So we see her story with Maud. So we see what actually happened with these preteen girls. They had a fight. Maud pushes Bryn. Bryn gets upset, grabs a rock that was right next to her, reaches up and smashes it into Maud's face, killing Maud. And Bryn immediately regretted what she did, but it was obviously too late. I want to talk more about that later, not in this exact moment.
Yeah.
So next, Maud sees an earlier version of herself writing a letter to Maud. She grabs this version's hand. They make eye contact. It seems like there was this moment of forgiveness where she forgives herself. And that was my most memorable scene. Then the aliens talk amongst themselves, decide to send her back to Earth. She lays in the street and laughs at the multicolored lights going off above her. And then the movie ends in our final scene, which is basically Bryn living out her dream life. She goes to hang a birdhouse at, I think, the neighbor's house or something. She's waving to everyone. Everyone waves back, really nice. And that's when you see that the little urchins are still in their throats. So they're all still aliens. And she's like the only human who is with her wits about her, still on Earth. She goes to a dance party, shows off her moves, makes direct eye contact with the camera, does this little like flourish with her hand, and then twirls off. I have no idea what that means. And then we pull back and there's alien spaceships in the sky, and that's the movie. The only thing I could guess that meaning is she's showing that this is all a show for the aliens. Anyway.
Yeah, I really try to look into stuff. I guess a lot of thoughts on why the aliens let her stay, let her live.
Yeah.
And some people think they just like kind of like feel bad for her, or like she survived all this time and then they see her trauma and they're like, you know what? Fuck it, let her live, I guess, because she's just not easily controllable. And it seems like, I don't know, the aliens were like weird. Some of them I think were not super harmful, and they were just like, they were taking over, but it didn't seem like in a super harmful way. But then there are others that are like out to kill, but they could have been pissed off with her because she just kept fucking around. And they were just like, we just wanted to fucking get down here, put urchins in your throats and, you know, hang out. So like, I guess they were just like, fuck it, let her live. And I like the ending. I think a lot of people like were like weird about it, but I was like, I like the silliness of it, that she's happy now, that the time that she's actually happy and interacting with people is they're all aliens. Like she couldn't have that before.
I agree. Like that, up until the ending, it was gonna have a half of a heart viewer. Yeah. And then the ending I thought was interesting enough to keep me thinking about it, and was worth, you know, was worth the trauma that was the whole movie. And I just found it very interesting. Like I liked it, and I liked that ending better than if they were all human, which is probably surprising to hear from me. Yeah. I think it's more interesting.
Yeah, because I think the townspeople, I mean, it's hard because she did kill the sheriff's daughter, basically.
Right.
But I think it's like, it's 10 years. And I'm like, y'all are just going to seclude this poor girl for 10 years for something she did at 12? Like, that's crazy.
It's definitely messed up, and I don't think it's something that 98% of civilization would do. Like, I don't think that most people, as a 12-year-old, if they were pushed, would decide to smash a rock into someone's face. However, I also think that she was a child. Like, that you are a child and you are not cognizant of what you're doing. She obviously didn't murder with intent.
Right.
Which is also clear in the life she's led up to now. She's not in prison still. She hasn't continued to commit violent acts, and she lives with incredible guilt and pain from what she did, which I can't imagine going through that. So I have empathy for her. I have trouble relating to it, but I don't think that she's an inherently bad person. I think she just did a dumb thing, and
yeah, and it's a thing too where like, you know, some kids just get upset and they go to hit, you know, usually with their fist or something. But for her, it was just, you know, she
saw a rock.
It was a big rock. It's like,
it was a big rock.
Probably shouldn't do that, but you know, she definitely didn't expect it to fucking.
She also, you know, is an only child, so it makes you wonder, okay, how much interaction? Not that this is an only child thing. This is not an insult against only children. It's more
only
like
children.
Murderers.
Bunch of assholes.
No, I just mean she's never pushed around by siblings, so maybe she doesn't know how to. I don't know.
No, I get it. You know, when you have siblings, you guys are like constantly beating each other up, but like, you, I don't know, I guess learn some boundaries.
Yeah, I know your limits, maybe. But that being said, I don't know any older children who have committed this sort of crime. So,
yeah.
Or only children, not older children. I don't know any only children that have ever, you know, accidentally murdered somebody with a rock. So, I actually don't know if any of our friends are only children, though. I don't think so. We're elitist, I guess. It's fine. So anyway, yeah.
But yeah, the director just said that he felt like she went through enough and he liked the character and wanted to give her something good at the end,
Yeah.
which I'm happy for because she really went through it. So
Yeah, she definitely did.
but yeah, the only like fact I had was what you said, where the movie only has 5 spoken words, which is "I'm
Mhm.
sorry, Maud, I'm sorry," and I did not notice. I've seen this movie twice, and
Really?
no, I didn't realize, and it just, I don't know, and there was something weird about the movie, and I couldn't put my finger on it, and then when I read this, I was like, oh my god, yeah,
Dude!
there are no words. There's no words. It's just, there's music and, aliens clicking and shit.
She's making noises and
Yeah.
like panting and all that stuff. But
Right. But yeah, I didn't notice, which is like ridiculous.
I kept waiting for. I was like, okay, I wonder if this is gonna be a fully silent, like Willy's
Yeah.
Wonderland with Nick Cage, and then, or if there's just gonna be some powerful words that are spoken, and that's that. But
Yeah.
I paused it and I checked the time, and it was at 1 hour and 9 minutes is when she speaks.
Yeah.
Because
and
I was waiting the whole time up till then. I was like, when is she gonna say anything?
And I guess I didn't. What helped too is that no one said anything.
Yeah.
Like with Willy's Wonderland, it's like
Yes.
Nick Cage obviously does.
Someone is saying something.
Yeah,
And he's just being a weirdo.
Yeah, he's just being a weirdo. So in this movie, no one says anything, and it's all just, actions. And I think that's really cool. I like that
I do too.
aspect of it, and I like that the only thing she says is that she's sorry to Maud.
Yeah.
Which is sad, but yeah, I thought it was a pretty cool way to do the movie.
I agree.
I give props to the director for that.
Yeah.
What'd you think about the main actress?
I mean, I like her. I think she did a really good job and acted very well. I thought that it is incredibly challenging to do acting without any speaking. I think that she had to kind of telegraph everything. I got a little annoyed with all the panting and screeching, but that was just because I was like, is that all you can do? I would have been screaming profanities. I would have been like,
right, yeah,
get away from me. But whatever, that's my own issues. But I did like her. She was unrecognizable in some parts, like when she was covered in mud on her face. I was like, she just does not look like herself anymore.
Or even like at the end when she's all dressed up with like makeup.
Yeah,
she looks really different too.
She looks completely different. But I also think she's very, very beautiful. She has a look to her that I envy, with like the whole 1950s getup. It was like super cute, and I liked that. And
she's very like dainty features. Like her face looks like like a Renaissance painter, a generic woman. Not say generic, but like a beautiful woman they think in their head. Like I feel like her face is like that.
Yes.
So
I agree, and I think that it is one of the reasons why this movie is so interesting, because of the fact that she, as just this everyday average person who looks really pretty, she just is able to survive out of everyone in the world. She is the one who makes it.
Yep. You just needed to have tons of trauma.
Yep.
All you need to survive.
I have trauma, but nothing like hers, so I would definitely be dead.
I do feel like a lot of final girls have mad trauma, and I guess it makes them survive. But like, do we need that?
Does it? Yeah.
Where's need all the trauma?
Where's my girl who's just hanging out? She's just living her life. She crochets. She. Just,
I was gonna bring up Ripley, I guess, from Alien. Doesn't really have trauma, so she just.
That's true.
She's just hanging out, but
we don't really know much of her backstory, right?
No. You didn't see the second one, so I won't spoil anything for you.
Fair enough. Okay. That's fair.
But yeah,
which is like, so you get to live, but you have to live with all this,
right? It's like worth
this trauma on top of everything else. Not saying that it's not worth living if you have trauma, but I'm just saying. Oh God, really putting my foot in my mouth. Just thinking, she's the last human being left on Earth. She knows that she killed somebody as a child. Her mom's dead, and everyone around her is not real.
Yeah.
Just
Here's a
feels-
question for you.
Okay.
Romance. Possible?
In
If
this
all
world?
of it were aliens, but in a human body.
I feel like I feel like she would. I feel like she would. Her, who she is, I have no doubt in my mind that she would find a way to make it work. Me? Could I do it? No. No, it doesn't feel consensual.
That's fair, yeah, because it is like their body. So it's like, did you watch Wonder Woman 2, the second one?
I haven't seen the second one.
Oh, girl. There's like there's a similar situation, and it's not. It's very, a lot of people are like, that doesn't seem consensual, and
cool.
Yeah, it was like the main romance. Steve Chris Pine played his character, like his subconscious takes over a body, and so he's like controlling the body.
Is there a way of getting around Chris Pine not being in the movie, or?
Well, he's in it, but so you see him, but it's technically supposed to be another man, but she's seeing Chris Pine's character. But it's like for no reason. I was like, why?
What's the purpose of that?
Because she like wishes him to come back, so he comes back that way. I'm like, why just bring his body back? Like, why would you do this? Because then at the end he goes and she runs into that same dude again, and I'm like, y'all had sex.
That's too no.
It was like too much. I was like, what?
Don't take it.
Yeah,
don't take it.
It was like really awful. I'm like, what
that's
the
super
fuck
problematic.
was the director thinking?
No, they weren't. That's what they were thinking.
Yeah.
Nothing. There was nothing.
That shit was crazy. But anyway, I guess it would be like a similar type of thing. So
yeah,
but
I feel
alien without human body.
No, they were gross looking, dude. Are you kidding me?
The one with like the finger feet.
Dude, when it stood up on its toes like that, I was like, get away.
Girl, I would have died. I straight up would have died under the bed. Seeing that?
Dude, I never would have gotten out of the bed. They would have ripped the bed off the ground. I would have laid there like a little cat with my paws in the air, and they would have gone holding right. Right up.
I would have never left. Honestly, like that is such a scary thing. It's like such a that is one of like my biggest fears. Abduction.
Alien abduction?
Yeah. It is like, honestly, I think about it.
Really? What? Dude, when I was a little kid, I, for real, was convinced that an alien spaceship was headed my way. I was looking out my window at night, and I saw this glowing light, and I was freaking out. I was like, oh my God, that's a spaceship. That's a spaceship coming for me. I told my mom, and it was the municipal building 2 doors down. It has a light that's on all the time.
Dude, but honestly though, like I think of like War of the Worlds type of situation, and it's just like, what can you do? Nothing. And then they're just like collecting you to just take, or like Nope, where it just sucks you up into a fucking stomach.
Oh, yeah. It feels very similar to like a zombie situation, because it is this other creature and your chances of survival are quite minimal.
Right. It's like, it's not gonna be like E.T. I mean, it could be, but knowing us in America.
Dude, I already know that this is how I know I would be dead, because the minute she comes face to face with the alien and she starts attacking it, I was like, why choose violence? Why not just see if it's friendly? That is my first thought.
I mean, it's not a bad idea. Just be like,
yeah,
hey,
what's up? What brings you here? Come here often?
So, probing? Not really interested.
Listen, I'll answer all your questions.
Yeah, I'll answer whatever you want.
There are no state secrets that, I'll
let you take a little bit of blood, if you want. But I would always, if I ever came face to face with an alien, the first thing I would do would be like, hi, please don't kill me. And if they kill me, fine. But I would at least try and communicate. So
yes. Yeah, exactly. That would be my impulse. So And then they would have just put a creepy little urchin in my throat, and I would have lived a dazed existence. I would have fully believed the delusion.
Yeah.
I think and then if I questioned it, I would have been like, well, the delusion's better than the reality.
Yeah, you know what? Everything's
Yeah.
brighter here.
Yeah.
I feel great. My skin looks great.
There's children laughing in the background. My best friend who apparently was
I think that's the thing.
murdered.
They push too hard with
Yeah.
having Maud come
Yeah.
back. It's like
She would have fallen for it if it
Yeah.
wasn't for that.
but I don't
Yeah.
think they knew, like I think like whatever the urchin does, it just
They-
pulls whatever she wants, but then herself is like, this is not I don't
Real.
deserve this.
Right.
This is
Because
too
she
much.
also had an entire room of letters to Maud and pictures of Maud all over the place. And the way she wrote about Maud, it didn't seem quite, maybe she wasn't dead.
Yeah.
So it's very possible that everything that they had taken of her was not thinking that she was, gone
Right.
forever. Yeah. What do you think she's laughing about when she's in the street with the lights above her? Like, is it just the fact that she survived?
I think so. I think it's the fact that she survived everything and was like, and they just put her back to Earth, and it's just like such a crazy, ridiculous situation that happened to her.
Yeah.
That the only thing she could do is like laugh about it.
Yeah.
So I think that's
fair.
why she was laughing.
Okay. Do you think you could go about living your life regularly?
If everyone else was an alien, or like if I went through
Yeah.
all that stuff.
See all of the above.
If everyone else was an alien, like friendly, I could probably
Mhm.
live the rest of my life fine. I would
Okay.
just have my little farm. Everyone's nice to me.
Yeah.
I have my little dance party here and there. But if it happened to me and everyone else was not an alien, I don't know what I would do.
Yeah.
I guess I would be the new like crazy conspiracy blogger.
Yeah.
Trying to see if anyone else has ever experienced it. But
Yeah.
I think, and I feel like she went through a good journey because she ended up forgiving herself. So I think
Yes.
in the end, she came out better than before.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
and then even the title of the movie, "No One Will Save You," is like kind of relates just to her. Like only she can save herself.
That's true. I didn't think about that.
Oh.
Yeah, I feel like the whole theme of the movie was really based on forgiveness more than anything else.
Yeah, it's just little fun aliens thrown.
Yeah. So for me, like I said, likelihood of survival was 1 out of 10. Would not have made it past the first 10 minutes of that movie. Goodbye.
The furthest I could
Passion.
maybe get is like the urchin going into my mouth. Like I could have maybe fended off an alien, but that's a maybe.
If I had gotten to that point through luck and sheer,
yeah, and it would have had to been the finger feet one. I was not fucking around with the tiny one. Hell no.
No, they were, and they also did these weird arm motions, which was like they were summoning the ship, I guess.
Yeah,
but there was like
the weird,
very weird like Vogue dance moves. I was like, what is this going on?
I don't,
and that's too much. So, assuming that the villain is the alien, I'm a hardcore pass it. Pass
fair.
Every iteration. There's not a single iteration that I could have found myself going for. I did say smash for Bryn. I feel like, yeah, I don't agree with her trauma, but it seems like she's, working through it. It seems like she's got a pretty good life together, a great house, career, all that kind of stuff. So.
Yeah. And I think she's like a good person. Like even when the mom like spat on her face, like she just accepted it. She didn't lash out or anything. Like she really was like, I fucked up. And I think, that tells a lot on the type of person she is.
Agreed. I would recommend to a non-horror fan that only if I felt they could handle aliens. But I would. I feel like it speaks a lot more to just aliens. I gave it was originally going to be lower, but I gave it a 4 out of 5. Yeah, so the ending did kind of give it a higher rating for me, and I felt like it was better because of that.
Nice. Yeah, I like ending on a high note. I was like, it seems a little cheesy, but I was like, this is cute.
I do too. It just feels better, even if it's not realistic. It just feels a little bit, nicer. Some happiness is had.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Yeah, I do have one theory that I forgot to tell you. I was wondering if the urchins themselves were the aliens and they had taken on the body of the gray beings and then we're just moving hosts.
Oh, that's really interesting.
Yeah.
Maybe. That would kind of make sense. Well, yeah, I could definitely see that as an option.
I don't know.
Theory, but I like that.
Thank you.
I will accept that theory.
Thank you. Thank you for your acceptance of my theory. So do you want me to tell you what your movie's going to be?
Yes. Okay. I need to know.
I'm so sorry. I didn't want to make it be this one.
Will I know the thread immediately once you tell me?
Maybe. Maybe it's possible. Okay. It's a very, very, very popular romance.
Is it The Notebook?
It's The Notebook. I'm so sorry.
Megan, you know how I feel about The Notebook.
I know.
It's not going to be a good conversation next week.
Wait, I forget. Do you it's not, you don't have any specific trauma around it, right?
No, I just don't think it's a good movie.
Okay. That's fine. Well, you know what?
I don't think I think it's a decent, like, I'll rate it decently because it has good acting and stuff. I don't like the romance, so that's already going to be like a negative for me, but we can talk about it.
It's fine. We'll go more into it. I was like, I knew that you had seen it and I couldn't remember if you had hated it or if it just made you too sad. So I was like, it was one or the other. So I was like,
I mean, it's definitely sad. I don't hate it. Like, but like, I'm not going to fucking trash it, but I definitely have negative feelings about it.
That's fine. It'll be an interesting discussion. I honestly didn't want to pick it.
Yeah.
Because I would have rather, there was another movie that I wanted to pick instead that I just recently rewatched that you've seen and you loved, and I wanted to pick that one.
Yeah.
But the common thread is just too good. It's just too good. And so if you don't already know it, you'll...
I feel like I know it.
Yeah, probably.
So it's good. Yeah, it's a good pick. But...
Do you want to get? Do you want to...
is it that there's a beautiful farmhouse in both of them? No?
No.
You're not... No?
No. So, but there you go. There's a freebie. A free pass.
Okay.
I think you'll get it. But it is that's actually a very good secondary common thread.
That's what I immediately thought. I was like, oh, they both have a farmhouse. Like,
nope, it's something different.
Okay.
But it's a good one. I went deep.
Okay.
Deep.
All right.
Okay. So for anyone who has lived under a rock for the majority of their life and not seen The Notebook. The Notebook is a movie. It is an epic love story that has probably topped the charts of romance movies since it was released. So it was bound to be covered at some point or another.
I mean, Nicholas Sparks.
Nicholas Sparks. His movies, I don't willingly read his books or go out of the movies are like less painful because you don't have to invest as much time, but the books I cannot read because I'm not about to get sad.
Yeah, I think I've only seen 2 of his movies.
Oh, which was the other one?
A Walk to Remember.
I did not.
In that one. Oh, You locked
That-
out.
I know.
That
I know
shit
what
fucked
happens.
me up.
I know what happens, but I was basically my mother kicked me out so that I wouldn't have to see the sad bits. My mom was very good at protecting me from sad things. She knew her daughter well.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't know if that's a movie you could probably watch.
Yeah, probably not. No, knowing what it is about, I don't think I could watch it well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, The Notebook.
Back,
it is
back to The Notebook. Based on the
number one.
Nicholas Sparks book.
Yep.
Yeah. Very highly rated. It is the story of essentially, I'm not even gonna go into that. It's like a story within a story, but the main story that you learn is that there's these two young kids back in like the 30s, whatever.
Well, is it the 30s? I
so.
guess,
I think it was,
yeah.
like, wartime, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
it was wartime. And the one is a young, wealthy girl, and the other is a young, poor boy. And it's kind of their love story and how they get to know each other, they fall in love, but her family does not approve, and they end up forced apart for various reasons, and there is a struggle to get back together again and to see if they reunite. So that is the story. It's a tear-inducing one. If you are someone who cries at movies, you'll probably cry. And maybe not. I don't know. But I haven't watched it in a few years. It used to be like a yearly watch for me.
Really? That's a rough movie to watch every year.
Yeah. I just loved it so much.
I think the last time I saw it, I was in high school. It was a while. So it's gonna be very fresh.
I'm curious your adult perspective. Maybe you'll fall in love with it. Maybe you'll love the love. You never know. Maybe you will. Maybe as an adult.
Maybe I'll see things differently.
I doubt it. But anyway, that's the movie that we're watching for this week.
It's Ryan Gosling, right? I mean,
yep. Yeah, he was picked because what did you just say? My ex-boyfriend?
No, Brett's boyfriend.
Oh, okay. He was picked because they said he was not an attractive lead, and they didn't want an attractive lead.
Okay.
Which is like, all right, that's hilarious, you guys.
I will say he's still fine, but like I was gonna say, like with the full beard, he's a little less than when he first appeared in the movie, but he's still. But yeah, I heard like Brett said that too. Like he got popular because he just wasn't like super attractive.
I guess like conventionally attractive, but that's
they wanted someone like more normal or down to earth, and it's like I guess. And I told Brett because we were watching the movie Drive, and I do not like that movie. Like Brett loves this movie, and I'm like, I just like don't. I'm like, I could see him just not being super attractive. Like if I was in that situation, I feel like he would not. And Brett's like, what? Look at this man. Look at his face. It's gorgeous. I wish I looked like that. I was like, okay, chill. In the Barbie movie, I saw it. I was like, okay, I see the vision. But also in The Notebook, he looks amazing. So I don't know what the hell they were talking about.
No, I do not understand it at all. So
I don't know.
We can discuss more next week in our next episode.
So yeah, you can reach out to us on social media, Instagram, TikTok. How do you watch this? And Gmail. How do you watch this at gmail.com? And we'll see you next time.